Okay, to catch you up to speed, I went into town yesterday, into the town of Front Royal. I came in at the Typhoon hostel and caught a shuttle into town. The guy who owns the hostel is a pretty interesting guy. His name's Mike, and he was a nice enough fella, but he wasn't afraid to tell you what was on his mind. Unfortunately, the Typhoon hostel does not allow dogs, so we got into the Quality Inn, and I stayed with Galactic Ape and Lunar Worm. And while they went swimming in the pool, I went and walked down to the theater downtown and saw Jurassic World, which was, you know, dinosaurs, awesome, good fun summer movie. And that kind of wraps up my trailside movie watching for the summer. I wanted to see that and the Avengers, and I got to see both of those off the trail, so that was cool. And then I got a ride from a guy named Sauger, really nice guy who owns a convenience store and gas station just up the road from the Quality Inn. He came down and asked if I needed a ride back up to the trail, and we got the GPS up on my phone and went back to the hostel. I had to walk uphill 0.5 of a mile, but to get back on the trail, and I did that. And right now we are actually standing at the register station, the North End register station for Shenandoah National Park. So we're getting ready to leave the park boundary, and I mean, it's just it was cool. The Shenandoahs was an amazing experience. Front Royal was great. I have a camp chair now and some new toe shoes with toe socks made of new wool. So that was, you know, I sent some souvenirs home yesterday at the post office, and I sent home some obsolete items like my old toe shoes and stuff like that. So, you know, it's been a little bit, you know, my pack is heavy right now. The camp chair weighs 1.5 pounds, which is light for a lot of chairs, but it's still a heavy luxury item. But, yeah, so I got some new gear after hiking for 2.5 weeks or so without a sleeping pad. I had another one mailed to me. This one's a memory foam, so it should be a little bit easier to set up at night. Because half of it's foam, I don't have to blow air into it for 10 minutes and then fall asleep off the sleeping pad because I passed out from lack of air to my lungs. I had this one, it was a really lightweight, great sleeping pad, but you had to blow so much air into it, I'd get lightheaded and fall asleep with the sleeping pad on top of me. Wake up 30 minutes later and say, this isn't right. So I've got this memory foam one, this luxury camp chair, and new shoes and socks. And I still got my trail runners, the other shoes that I was running with, but yeah, I got some new gear and a new attitude, and just reflecting upon the Shenandoahs, Front Royal. It's been a really good week. They say we're going to get 3.5 to 4 inches of rain this weekend, and I hope that doesn't dampen my mood and ruin my good spirits, but I don't think it can get me too low. We have to ride what's called the roller coaster to get to the halfway point of Harpers Ferry, and that's just a lot of ups and downs, steep, not too big in climb, but they're just a lot of steep up and downs. And we get through these next 60 miles, we'll be getting to Harpers Ferry, and I might be taking a day trip into Washington, D.C., and checking out the Smithsonian museums there with the Orr family. So there's a lot going on. Right now they're probably about 12 miles ahead of me, so I gotta push hard to catch up to them. But I'm feeling good right now, and even though my pack is heavy, it's been a really cool experience hiking through the last couple 100 miles, and I really have enjoyed the Shenandoahs, where I got to see bears for the first time on the Appalachian Trail. I've seen them other places in the past, but that was my first time hiking on the trail when I saw the bears. So I got to experience a lot of cool things like that, and the Shenandoahs were super easy to hike through compared to everything else. You know, I filtered water the first day within the interior. I got water from a spring, but the rest of the 100 miles I just filled up at the spigots at the campsites, and it's little things like that that you don't expect to have such a great impact. And I set a new record hiking my longest day within the Shenandoahs. So I mean, it was just a lot of high points along that section of the trail, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Now that we're beyond that and approaching the halfway point in our journey.
Good dogs.
Yeah, just old.
You don't want to drink 3.5 in my case, because 8 usually gives you hearts and pains. Walk. The last one though, Tabasco, you bought like 3 6-packs of new ones. We took off right from the rain. I was like, I don't think
We're just about 3 months on the trail, and we're also getting closer to the 4th of July. So I want to do something pretty significant with that, and then I think I'm gonna stay committed to hiking long and hard. As we go through West Virginia and into Maryland, I might have some friends to hook up with in Maryland, but then after that, it's like tear through Pennsylvania and all those other states, and then slow down when we get to the White Mountains. But that's all a long ways away. We're not there yet. Just take 1 mile at a time and see how that treats us. But we're starting to fall behind a little bit. Seems like I'll catch up to somebody like in town, and then instead of crisscrossing them and getting ahead of them, then they're just immediately the next day ahead of me. So I want to get into town, and I want to start hiking longer days and get kind of back in towards the middle of the group, because it's stressful for the dog to meet a lot of these people towards the back of the group. Some of them are rowdy, and it's just hard with the dog who's never seen any of them before, and I've never seen any of them before. We don't really know what to think of some people, so we want to start pushing forward and find ourselves somewhere back in the middle. So that's the goal after Harpers Ferry. This second half of the trail is going to be dedicated primarily to getting it done and hiking. We're entering a state park, Sky Meadows State Park. It's been raining probably since 4 or 5 in the morning. And I almost stayed in my tent all day waiting for it to go by, and then realized more bad weather's coming tomorrow. I was losing the battle trying to keep my tent dry, and I wasn't just going to sit there in my tent and succumb to hypothermia. So one way or another, I'm facing the rain and the cold and the wind. And it was either sit there in my tent and try to do it, or make some progress and hike through it. And that's what I'm doing. I didn't really have an option. So up on this sign, somebody left a bag full of Gatorades and little trail mix and like Quaker snack crackers. I think it's Trail Magic. It's kind of weird that that's just left up there, but yeah, so I took a little bit of it. I mean, even on a rainy day like this, you can run into something good. I could be wrong about it, but I'm pretty sure that's Trail Magic. Why else would it be there? Action. And the sign reads, "Hiker notice warning. You're about to enter the roller coaster. Built and maintained by the trail boss and his merry crew of volunteers. Have a great ride, and we will see you at the Blackburn Trail Center, if you survive." The roller coaster is about 13 miles of constant ups and downs. It's a pretty challenging portion of the trail, but we get over it, and should be easy walking to Harpers Ferry after that. Put your hands up, bandit. Bandit, hold on. Hold on to your bar. I'm investing a lot into this joke. You know, believe it or not, eating wild blueberries right off the trail was a major milestone for me. something that I've been wanting to do. It's one of the things I was looking forward to on the hike, and I'm just thankful that I got to experience it. That and seeing bears recently. You know, it's difficult. The trail's difficult, but little moments like this remind you why you're hiking it. You know, to have events happen and stories to tell and experiences along the way. Get back. Get your own berries. And I'm just, I was kind of in a funk because of today's difficult hiking, but just as I was thinking about that, lo and behold, these blueberries are on the path. And they put me in a good mood again. Those are fantastic. You know, I see a lot of these unripe blackberries right here. And I was just thinking, like, seems like blackberries, mulberries, and blueberries, they cross paths a lot. A lot of times you'll find these fruit-bearing trees and plants next to one another. And the more I was thinking about it, you know, it was kind of telling, you know, if bears are coming in, or other animals that eat berries, if they're coming in and eating the berries, the seeds are deposited in their stool, and then when they do their business out in the woods, while they're eating blackberries, at one point they might hike 3 or 4 miles into the forest to the blueberry bush, and then at that point they have to go to the bathroom, and those blackberries from earlier are deposited next to the blueberries. And you see a lot of these plants growing next to each other because these seed dispersing animals. And I just thought, you know, I'm guessing that's how it works. I'm not a biologist, but I'm pretty sure the bear eats the berries of the blackberry or the blueberry or the mulberry, travels over the ridges, disperses those seeds in a different type of grove. And all of these plants, all of these fruits are widespread here in this region because of animals like bears. Now I'm pretty sure I found raspberries. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, all in the same area. Yeah. Alright, it's almost dark. Trying to get to a black bear hostel. I don't know if I'm going to stay there in a bunk room per se. Seems kind of late to come in. Everyone's going to be asleep. I just don't want to sleep in my wet tent. Maybe if breakfast is inclusive, I'll be down for it, but more than likely I think by the time I get there, the people are going to be all retired for the evening, so I don't know if I could even get a bunk room. And everybody's been packed up in the shelters, not moving in the rain, packed up in the hostel, I'm sure. There's probably not even a bed available. But if I could sleep out on the porch or something, that would be more than enough. It's gonna be a long freaking day. So we're at the Black Bear Hostel. We tent camped out here last night. It's foggy and raining. It was a pretty cool spot. It's been around since the 30s, I think. It almost looks like a castle. And It's interesting getting to stay there. But I just set up camp late last night and woke up and got a soda this morning. And I'm back out on the trail. I'm going to try to do another 20 miles. 4 miles of which is still on the roller coaster. But the ups and downs aren't as bad as they were yesterday. But we still got 4 miles on the roller coaster and then 16 or 17 miles into Harpers Ferry.
We'll ship it. John.
Sure,
That way he gets it back.
Okay, so I'm with some nice folks from DC here, and they're helping me mail some things back home.
Hi.
And one of those items is my camp chair that I carried a whole 60 miles and decided was not worth carrying. It's nice, but not for me. And my Native American flute, which I got to play on a few occasions along the past 1,000 miles, is going home. So I'm going to miss that, but it's going to be good to know that they're safe at home.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, and
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Come on,
Thank you
let's
very
meet
much.
you.
Yeah.
The flute is the last thing he
Yeah.
sees.
oh yeah, I'll get a
He does have a
dramatic.
tight ass from what she says.
All right, take
All right,
care.
Okay.
see ya.
We'll put a note into your mom saying you're doing well.
Okay,
All right, take care of your partner there. All right.
see ya.
Bye.
Aw, hi, puppy.
You know, I sent home a lot of stuff that I really liked carrying. I really did like that camp chair. It was super comfortable, and I hadn't had it very long, and I kind of felt bad that I made Mom mail it, only to send it back almost immediately. And I sent home my amphibians guide, so it'd be harder to identify a lot of things now that I don't have that. But the thing that hurts is the flute. I can't really make my own music and play my own song without that, so I mean, maybe that's not entirely true. Maybe we are our own instruments. Maybe that's what I need to discover along the way, is that the songs that we sing emanate from within us. And there's more than one way to express that. But nevertheless, my pack is lighter. I got rid of some things. And it's time to go. Welcome to West Virginia. Welcome to Virginia. We're on the state line. Oh. So I was walking on the trail with Bandit. Come here, buddy. And these two dogs came running up. One ran up and then smelled Bandit and then went back, and then there was another dog. And I thought this dog was going to be friendly too, and it was walking with the owner. And it ran up to Bandit, and Bandit growled a little bit, and then both dogs started going after him, trying to bite him. And this second dog grabbed onto his pack and ripped this huge hole. Come here, Bandit. Hey, come here. So now I have this huge gaping hole It's actually twice as big as that. I've got it like sectioned off for half of the hole. So I mean, it ripped like a 6-inch hole in his pack. So now it's like, what do I do? Like I can't safely store any belongings or food in there because of that. So I'm gonna try to call Roughwear. That's the brand that makes his backpack, which is held up for like the last 3 years until that jerkwad dog like tore it. But it was like I was just trying to get away from the situation, get our dogs apart so they wouldn't like do nothing to them, to where Bandit's safe. But now I got the whole pack situation to handle. Like, and that lady, I don't even think she knew what she did, and I didn't even know what she did until she walked away. But it was like she was responsible for that, and now I have to figure out this whole mess. How am I going to hike another 1,100 miles when my dog's pack is tore like that? So I'm going to try to get a hold of Roughwear, and maybe, I've heard they're pretty supportive in situations like this. Maybe because I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail. Maybe because I've been such a Roughwear advocate over the years, supporting them and things like that. Maybe they'll replace the pack. I don't know though. But either way, it's like I can't afford to stay in Harpers Ferry because all the lodging is expensive, and I can't afford to wait on another pack for 5 days so they could ship it ahead to the next town. But then that means I'm gonna have to carry probably 10 pounds worth of food just to feed Bandit. So I'm in a really stupid situation now because of a day hiker that couldn't keep their pet under control. And that's kind of put me in a bad mood. Gives me one more thing to worry about when I get into town. One more problem that I have to find a solution to. And that's one more distraction keeping me from enjoying this experience. It's people like that, you know, like irresponsible dog owners or irresponsible hikers, irresponsible backpackers. It's always somebody doing some thoughtless thing that makes it harder for you. I've got enough problems when I get lost, or when the rain comes down, or, you know, there's the trail itself is enough of a challenge. I don't need this extra bull. And it happens just as much. People don't have the common decency to think before they let shit hit the fan. So that's my little rant. Now I have to find a way to make his pack magically not ripped. As we entered historic Harpers Ferry, there was a sudden realization in my mind that we were less than halfway there, with the more difficult half stretched before us. We had already been through so much, encountering rattlesnakes, bears, torrential rain, and dog attacks. And now, more than ever, Katahdin seemed like it was on another planet, farther away than what we previously imagined. And each step felt like it was of little difference. In fact, in the shelters and in my tent at night, I often lay awake thinking and imagining the trail stretching longer and longer, Katahdin getting farther and farther away, faster than we could make progress. And even though in my mind the trail was stretching and was growing, so was I, so was Bandit, and we were going to make it to Maine, one way or another. We were going to reach that mountain.